Noticed that was especially meaningful was this common theme of ancient plays of having uh, the gods interfering with the daily lives of mortals and being just as petty or vengeful as the mortals that they were messing with. I thought it was kind of neat how this is such a common theme and such a strong theme in many plays from that era. And, a couple main values that I saw being represented in this world were irony and fear. Irony having Pentheus's mom as the leader of the group that ends up killing him, and then her not realizing what she's done until almost the very end of the play was especially ironic. I think Greek audiences probably like that back in the day. And fear is another major value of this world, because it seemed to me like the gods would always be willing to come in and destroy your life or ruin your family if you were to do so much as disrespect them, even unintentionally. Even trusting someone or doing something you thought was right could end up leading to your death if it was messing with the wrong god. When I was reading with the pencil, I circled the word thyrsus. I was very interested to read more about this and find out what it was, because I assumed it was just a spear of some sort, especially because they said the Maenads were throwing them. But I found out that it was more of a symbol of the supporters of Dionysus, so it was almost like a gang color or a gang symbol that you would see and say, oh, that represents this group. Well, you could see a thyrsus and say that's a supporter of Dionysus or a worshiper of Dionysus. I might have missed it in the book, but I didn't see it covered that well. But I thought that was a very interesting thing. Unfortunately, it seems like the Maenads had a perception that was just like how most people were to perceive women in the day. Pentheus saw them as a threat that needed to be stopped immediately, like how we would see a rabid dog today, something that needs to be taken care of and kept away from society. And he almost served as the mouthpiece of society by seeing these Maenads who were generally keeping to themselves and saying this needs to be stopped immediately. Something about Elvis I thought was interesting was how he came onto the music scene in the 1950s and kind of revolutionized it with the new kind of rock and roll style. Really represented how the Maenads were this new worshiping style. A lot of the older, traditional, more conservative people thought Elvis was kind of destroying society. Pentheus, in a similar way, saw the Maenads as a threat to his society. I thought it was a fairly accurate parallel that Paul Woodruff, or whoever decided that, drew. A couple of questions I had was why Pentheus was willing to trust Dionysus. I understand that he was a god and he showed his power, but to allow himself, a king, to go into an area that was dangerous, dressed as a woman, seems kind of unlike him. And another question I had was why Pentheus was not just willing to let Dionysus go. He showed he was powerful, and the Maenads were generally keeping themselves, so it probably would have ended up a lot better for him if he could have just left the whole situation alone. Thanks.